Hello, 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 and good night, everybody. This is King Mike, and this is the Money Circle with Ashane4x. So, just to introduce this podcast, episode one, for a bit, pretty much what it's about is money, making money. How can money help you? Anything pertaining to money. Tonight, as the pilot episode, we'll be focusing strictly on Forex and we'll be speaking to Ashane4x as he goes by on Instagram. So Ashane4x, what's up, man?
What's up, bro?
How you doing? How you doing?
Good and a good.
It's good to have you here on this podcast, man. So tell us a little about yourself.
All right, so my name is Ashane McCarthy. I'm a professional forex trader. I've been trading about almost 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm located in Jamaica, and I really developed a passion for forex over doing it for a really long period now. I've also grew my own business in the field of forex as well.
Mm-hmm.
Secure the Bug Academy, where
Mm-hmm.
we cater to over 250 plus students, right? So that's definitely just a little bit about myself as it relates to my Forex career so far.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. I saw your Instagram yesterday. Yesterday was your birthday, right?
Yeah. Yesterday was my birthday.
All right, happy belated birthday, bossy. So,
Thanks.
so as we get into this, what made you get into trading?
All right, it really was from I was younger, I was a really person who really focused on taking entrepreneurial opportunities. I was presented with the opportunity to become a forex trader like a couple years back while working a regular 9 to 5. However, I found it that it was very expensive at the time, right? Because of what I was
Mm-hmm.
introduced to forex being. But then after that, I realized that it's not that expensive. And to be honest, it's like it was a really a calling for me
Mm-hmm.
because when I started to study and watch a few videos, I just met a random guy who told me he was a forex trader, and he was telling me some of the investments he take as a forex trader, and he was all the way from Canada. He
Mm-hmm.
was just a customer at one of my friends' place that I used to work at. So he told me a little bit about forex and his knowledge about forex, and to be honest, it was just a boost for me to really get into the field and really start taking it serious. And really, from that day, the switch just flipped, and I really just put my head to it and started to do it because I really wanted something that I could scale in on. I had
Mm-hmm.
endless opportunities in, and
Mm-hmm.
something that I could really control by really getting to know more and just getting better over time.
Okay, okay, that's pretty cool. But for the viewers who doesn't know what forex is, could you give them like a brief synopsis of what it is exactly?
All right, so Forex is short for foreign exchange trading. And
Mhm.
Forex is basically similar to stock trading. A lot of people know stock trading. However, what makes Forex different is you're trading on an actual currency market. So you're trading exchange rates of different pairs against
Mhm.
one another on a market value that pushes around $5.3 trillion each day. So that's really what we trade on the Forex market.
5.3 trillion each day.
Yeah, so the market consists of 5.3 trillion dollars in capital every single day because as you know, our money is exchanged. If say US want to purchase some pounds from there,
Mhm.
they have to make a big money order, probably valued at around a couple $1 billion and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Countries buying goods from other countries, they buy in different currencies, they have to add an exchange rate to that. So yeah, that all of that makes up the really big capital. And if you go into banks, any bank you go into anywhere around the world, you see
Mhm.
the exchange rates on the wall. That's really what we trade, but we trade them on a real live market at a real time.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So before you got into trading, obviously you were working. Where were you working?
First I was working at Sutherland, and then I just worked like a little side job at one of my friends' business that I was looking into venture into.
Oh, okay. So at Sutherland, like being that you're a professional trader now, right? How does it differ from being a professional trader and working at Sutherland? How does it differ?
Well, when I was working at Sutherland, it was really funny. Um, to be honest, working at Sutherland, I used to put in more hours than I put into trading now because at Sutherland, I used to work from like 9 a.m. in the morning to like
Mm-hmm.
2 a.m. in the night because I really had to capitalize on that overtime and stuff like that, right? To really capitalize on my income because the income wasn't good. So I really had to capitalize and find a way to scale in on that. But difference is I'm a person who I'm really like a home person, so I like being at home and
Mm-hmm.
staying at home with my family and just doing things on my own time. So really Forex really affords me that opportunity to just stay home and just stay home and grind and really see a lot of profits from that as well as grow my business and stuff like that. So I really get to enjoy a lot of freedom because of Forex.
So this might be kind of personal, but would you disclose what you used to work at Sutherland to what you can supposedly make like in a day in
Well,
Forex?
definitely, I'm really transparent when it comes down to everything. So
Awesome.
at Sutherland, and people that know that's on my Instagram as well saw me post this, and they went really crazy. At Sutherland, I used to get like I wasn't a permanent worker at first,
Mm-hmm.
when I used to do so much overtime. So I used to make around 27,000 every 2 weeks. That is like around 54,000 a month. So that's what I used to make, but I really live far from Sutherland, so I had to pay a lot in fare to
Mm-hmm.
travel to and from work. So to be honest, out of the pay that I get every 2 weeks, I probably only get like around $10,000 to $15,000 for myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to do a lot of overtime and stuff like that. Meaning, and when it really comes down to trading,
Mm-hmm.
comparing to $27,000 every 2 weeks, I definitely have days where I make over $300, $500, $1,000. So definitely, it's no room to compare when it comes down to what I can make on the market or really what I had used to make at Sutherland. But I do respect working at Sutherland
Mm-hmm.
because it really taught me a lot of fundamentals about working hard and stuff like that. And it really gave me that discipline to know that, yo, I used to be there and I'm here
Mm-hmm.
now. So I really have to appreciate where I am. So I have to look back on that and use that as a stepping stone. Because how I really found out about Forex was somebody who was working at Sutherland.
Mm-hmm.
So they told me about Forex. I had the broken thing set up on my computer. And then really was when I was home alone. I just got into it, and then that's where I was trying to seek some knowledge. So definitely, I do respect Salon as a stepping stone in my life as well.
Okay, but it's almost unbelievable that you used to work like $200 every 2 weeks at
Well, that's what
at
that's what they
Sutherland.
pay. That's what they pay in 9 to 5. So definitely,
I know you can even make $200 in one day.
yeah, $200 in one day. And you know what's funny? I'm in a trade right now, and I'm up like 100 plus. So definitely.
So even while we're talking here, you're making money.
Yeah, because I take trades right throughout the day. Like I probably take like two positions daily.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been in this trade from like this morning. So it's up a couple pips
Okay.
now. So yeah.
All right. Cool. 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 So quick question. Like yesterday was your birthday. I think you're around 20, 22, 23.
Yeah, I'm
So
23.
23.
Yeah.
Young man, young. So as a young trader, right? Like what would you say is your biggest weakness?
My biggest weakness are, to be honest, my biggest weakness when it comes down to Forex is really just not procrastinating, because from time to time, because I do many different things, I'll pay attention to other things more than I do pay attention to trading now, because it's really because I've said I've hit a comfort zone sometimes in trading.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really trying to step out of that comfort zone and really focus on get on to bigger things. So that's really one of my weaknesses when it comes down to being a trader.
Well, that's one of your that's one of your biggest weaknesses, procrastination.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's a big weakness for almost everybody in every field.
Definitely.
So, what would you say is your biggest strength?
My biggest strength is definitely my psychology because from I was young to know
Mm-hmm.
the things that I invested my time into personally because when it comes down to me, I haven't watched television since 2010 or 2012, so that's like 8 year plus,
Mm-hmm.
right? I haven't watched television. What I do, I focus my time on like reading books, and I've never read a full book before, but I try to read books. I prefer mostly focusing on audiobooks, but I've went through so many books. Um, watch a lot of documentary, a lot of interviews on a different people,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that definitely builds my psychology and puts my psychology in a whole different level and a whole different phase because I do see things differently and I do react to things differently. For example, the coronavirus right now, I'm
Mm-hmm.
do reacting to that to by focusing on my trading even more and
Mm-hmm.
really capitalizing on trading even more to really come out of this pandemic better than I did and went into it as a trader, as a business person. So I'm definitely focusing on capitalizing more just because of my psychology. So I'm not the one to like complain and stuff like that. So I
Mm-hmm.
think my psychology about myself is my biggest strength.
Okay. So, you mentioned that you read books. Mostly you listen to audiobooks. So, what kind of like audiobooks do you listen to, or what kind of books do you read?
All right. So books definitely a big caliber. But let me just give you a couple that I'm like really looking into right now.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them that I'm listening to right now is
Mm-hmm.
Think and Grow Rich, right? So I'm definitely listening to that. I'm listening to the one called The Master Key, right? And
Mm-hmm.
next one, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, right? And the next one, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. So I'm investing, and I'm when I say investing, what I started to do, like probably around 4 months ago, I've never finished a book, right? So I've always just read or listened a part of the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot from that part because I've read so many books and many entrepreneurial journeys are really like similar. So I've read
Mm-hmm.
so many books that sometimes you can just read off the first three chapters and I really know what's gonna happen next within the journey. So
Mm-hmm.
what I've done recently, the past like 2 months, I've personally start instead of listening to free audiobooks on YouTube, I've invested my money into buying the audiobooks.
Oh.
So when I buy them, that
Mm-hmm.
makes me because I don't want to waste my money. That
Mm-hmm.
makes me stick to the book and really focus on finishing that book because I'm trying to finish books so I can definitely get insight into all the whole entire journey of the book, what the book is really teaching me. And one book um, that I consider one of the most important books is definitely the Bible. So
Mm.
that's one of my most important books, and I found out that really my entrepreneurial journey really transformed,
Mm-hmm.
right, as a trader. I lost my mom in last year, January,
Mm-hmm.
and after I lost my mom, I definitely got closer to God,
Mm-hmm.
right? And started to read the Bible more. So from starting to read the Bible more, I found out that the Bible really speaks to me and really talks to me and give me that insight and about things that I'm going
Mm-hmm.
through as an entrepreneur and how really and how I can react to a particular situation that I'm in because a popular scripture that I've read, I don't and the thing is, half of these scriptures that I read, I don't even remember where they come from, but I know the message. Recently, before, like, to be honest, March 23rd, the day of
Mm-hmm.
the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Um, the scripture that I read that day was um, your gift, about the gift, saying your gift will make room for you. So that's what I started to focus on, and because of that, I've launched many campaigns because of the whole COVID-19 thing to really put money aside for once and really start focus on more of helping people. And I found that my gift is really to really help and inspire people
Mm,
through my talents as a forex trader,
mm,
as a motivational speaker and stuff like that. So I'll definitely say one of my biggest books that I think everybody should read. Depends on your religion or so. Is definitely read your Bible, right? So I find that as the best book to really read, and it gives the best teachings to me personally.
mm. Well, I can agree with that because I'm a Christian and I read the Bible a lot and it has definitely helped me because I have an anger issue.
Mhm.
I have an anger issue, and I can safely say that one of the biggest scripture that that helped me with my anger is the scripture in Proverbs that says that anger resides in the laps of fools. And I don't consider myself a fool, so I try not to get angry, you know.
so
I
so
try.
yeah, man, so I'm telling you, definitely the best book because what I do in the Bible app that I use, the U version Bible app,
Mm-hmm.
I tried and one thing it forces you to do, to be honest, is because you have these things called streaks, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the best streak that I've ever went was 87 days in a row.
Mm.
So right now I'm at 37. I did
Mm-hmm.
87, but I broke that.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm at 37 days in a row, and what I do is I invest. I read plans as well. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the one to really like just search for a random scripture. What
Mm-hmm.
I do is I read plans on different topics, and
Oh.
reading these plans on different topics, um, it gives me insights, right? For people who really sit down and really read the Bible. If I'm reading a specific topic, it tells me verses that relates to that particular topic,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives me a whole plan around that. So definitely that's what I really, really read every single day because a part of my routine is praying as I wake up and praying before I go to my bed.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely that's a part of my routine which really pushes me up there and really give me that, not just that mental health and that physical health, but definitely I do invest a lot in my spiritual health as well.
Oh, okay. That's a good man. That's good. I really try to do that as well, you know. Um I think that your spirituality and your health they coincide with each other. And
Yeah,
also your psychology. So it's like just three in one, just going around in a circle complementing each other right throughout, you know?
yeah, for sure.
So as a trader, right? What do you consider like let's say if you were to give a couple of characteristics like of being a good trader, like could you give us five characteristics of being a good trader?
Yeah. Five characteristics of being a good trader would have to be long-term consistency, having a good psychology, and really um having a good trading plan, as well as good risk management, as well as money management skills. So I would say those are my characteristics on a good trader.
So long-term consistency, a good psychology, a trading plan,
Mhm.
risk management,
And money management skills as well.
and money management skills as well.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, all right. Many people may look at forex as being, you know, I can go in the market and press buy and get some money and come out.
Yeah.
Right? So like there's no it's like there's no knowledge behind it, right? It's like you're driving. It's like you see a car for the first time and you just go in there and ask how do you start, and they say you put that in the you put the key in the ignition and then you press on the gas. Right?
Because in regards to that, and in regards to the whole forex journey, like the more I've done forex, is the more I really like upgraded myself, and really because I'm the one who really I really focus on my trading heavily,
Mm-hmm.
focus on always getting better at what I do. And
Mm-hmm.
really one thing about the Forex journey that I really can tell people, and I've found this out like probably around January,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is as a trader, right? You have to really sit back and think like an investor, because when it comes down to Forex, you really, as it says, you're making profits, right? So many people look at profits as like, for example, flipping accounts, taking an account from 100 to 200, but guess what? That is 100% gain right there. But
Mm-hmm.
how often can that person get that 100%? Can they get that 100% every week? Can they
Mm-hmm.
get that every month? So, and there's really no consistency in getting 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I found recently, and one little insight that I do give my students, is becoming a funded trader. So, I found companies, right? And one such one I will talk in this podcast that I'm really working with right now is a company called FTMO. So, what they really do is they afford you and give you the opportunity of managing big capital,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you get like a 70-30% split. So 70% of the profits are yours. And it starts as low as $10,000. So really what this does, and a lot of people won't take this opportunity, but the smart people will. And
Mm-hmm.
what this does is, instead of you trying to make 100% amount, right? You can really sit back and just focus on making like 30%, 20%, even 10%, because you're trading such big capital, and it goes all the way up to $100,000, and you can
Mm-hmm.
manage up to 300,000.
And we're
So
talking US dollars, right?
yeah, US dollars. So
Man. Man.
definitely what this does, and this affords you the opportunity, because I teach my students differently, and I teach my students as a professional trading, right? So, and a professional trader looks for really long-term consistency and
Mm-hmm.
percentage gains. So is percentage gains similar to what an investment company looks for when they invest in different securities? So that's the approach I start taking to Forex now, rather
Mm-hmm.
than just creating that income from Forex. So I really started to take it like an investor per se. So um, what I really can tell to people that are getting into Forex, really just focus on risk management, focus on your money management skill, focus on your risk, like risking between 1 to 2% and trying to get that hitting that 10% a month or that 20% a month. Don't worry about that. It's not about flipping accounts. And
Mm-hmm.
then the money focusing on this growth, and this growth method is really better than you investing $600. You get it to 1,000, and then you blow your account, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're looking for flipping, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this methodology looks for a more long-term consistency, because to make 20%, to make
Mm-hmm.
20% and risking 1 to 3% is harder than flipping an account, to be honest, because you really have to focus on your risk management skills, trade management skills, all of that
Mm-hmm.
comes into play. So it really takes more hard work. So really that's what I really focus on, and really tell my students to focus on, because a couple of my students so far, they just focus on their risk management skills, focus on their money management skills, get their percentage up at a consistent basis. Where, for example, one of my students, I tell him to like, yo, start with 200. And when he started with 200, I told him that, yo, don't look to make money from this 200, just look to
Mm-hmm.
build consistency with this 200. And then 3 months, he got 3 months consistency where he saw 20% each month without losing 10%.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's right. That right there is the FTMO criteria. Just you can, once you don't lose 10% out of the capital, and you can make 10%
Mm-hmm.
on the capital. That's the first verification step. And the next step is just to make 5%. So when you focus on that, and he now is on his verge of securing his $50,000 account with FTMO.
Ah.
And the thing is, when you pay the money that you pay to get the account, you do get it back as a refund in your first withdrawal profit split. So they're taking that approach. So that's really the approach that I'm looking on right now when it comes down to trading.
Mm-hmm.
Just really just building that consistency of around 20 to 30% or 10%, right? And really risking 1 to 2% per trade. So you can really build that long term consistency over a certain period of months, And then after that, you just really invest into getting bigger capital, right? Because the whole flipping accounts thing, it's not long term because you're not gonna make 100%, 600% every single week or every
Mm-hmm.
single month. So I just focus on getting smaller percentages over a
Mm-hmm.
long term period. So when I'm trading for example, $100,000 account, 10% on that I'm looking for $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
20% I'm looking for 20,000. 30% I'm looking for 30,000. So there is ways in which you can make bigger profits by
Mm-hmm.
just securing bigger capital. So that's definitely the way that I look on Forex, and how the way I really show my students Forex per se. So they work on all the fundamentals of really becoming a professional trader and achieving that long-term consistency through this way.
Okay, and it's kind of neat that you look at it as an investing point of view, because I believe that if you look at it realistically, making 100% increase on an account, people think that you're scamming.
Yeah, definitely.
People think that you're scamming, because I think that the real estate uh sector, it's like 7% a year. And
Yeah,
banks I think give you like 2% each year. And when you think about inflation, let's say
mhm.
inflation is like 4% each year. If you're getting 2% from the bank, it's pretty much you not getting anything, because inflation is more than what you gain from the bank. So it's good that you look at it from that perspective, because instead of like flipping the account, but actually investing yourself into a long term thing, instead of just buy something here, flip it for 200 here, and then you're gone.
Yeah,
So it's pretty cool that you actually teach your students that, to look at it that way. So another question I'd like to ask, would you say a student or a person who's getting into Forex should like what is like the first thing that they should focus on, like understanding, like getting entries and all of that, or like getting knowledge first,
definitely. When it
practice.
comes down to a student, um, not really trying to sell anything here, but I really think a student should invest in knowledge first, because when it comes down to free knowledge, and you have to think about this, anything free is not good,
Mm,
right? And a lot of people really live under the shade and really say, yo, I'm self taught, I learned everything by myself, and this and that, yada,
mm-hmm,
yada, yada. But when you really check out the background and really go deep into their their lifespan and going deep into where they're coming from, they're really invested in courses and stuff like that from the beginning. So what I tell people and give them the advice, and I say you don't really have to even buy my course. Invest in knowledge, invest in somebody that you see is where you want to be, not
mm-hmm,
materialistically, but
mm-hmm,
psychologically.
mm-hmm,
Somebody that you see is getting that long-term success from Forex, not flipping accounts. Somebody that you see getting consistent gains, not somebody who shows profits every once a month. Pro, you one big profit for the month and that's it, right?
mm-hmm,
Consistent gains. This person doing it over a long period of time. This person is really growing in the field. So I really tell people to invest in knowledge, because when you invest in knowledge, all right, it might take that person 10 years to become a trader, right? If you go ahead and you can look on the person's journey, look on the person's mistake, look what the person, because when the person make mistakes, you don't have to make the same mistakes, right?
True.
Some people take 5 years to get over certain things, right? While when it comes down to you, you can you can recover or go over 5 years of what the person did in just 5 months, because of you knowing the person's journey and knowing all the do's and the don'ts that the person went through mentally and everything. So I tell people to really invest in knowledge first. Get that knowledge first, and then you start working
Mm-hmm,
on that course. And then the technicals, when it comes on to Forex, is the easiest part. Working on your psychology, work on your money management and your risk management skills as well. So just working all of those time hand in hand and just working on your charts daily, putting in that time and really trying to forget money for once, understand the market, and really work towards building that consistent gain, as I just talked about, that really makes you a professional trader. So that's definitely what I would tell anybody that's really getting into Forex to really focus on.
Okay. Okay. So, as a young trader, do you consider yourself, well, I think you'd have to consider yourself a good trader to be a professional trader, not working for anyone, right? So, like, who are some of the persons that you look up to, like in the game, if you have any?
All right. So when it comes on to Forex, I'm really as I told you, I'm really different. I don't look up to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people that I look up to and really invest in their journey doesn't even do Forex. So, but when it comes on to Forex traders that I do invest in, it's around three of them that I do look up to.
Mm-hmm.
One of them added recently. So the first person I'll do look up to when it comes down to Forex is King Sean Lee, right? Because he really shifted my mindset and shifted my journey when I really started to read up about him, started to watch his videos and stuff like that. So King Sean Lee would be the first.
Mm-hmm.
The second would be King Sean Lee's partner. I'm not. I saw where he, as a Forex, not just as a Forex trader, being a good trader, but he as a Forex businessman, when he really started to really look on opportunities of helping people,
Mm-hmm.
and it really transformed the game. And I really see how innovative you can be when it comes down to Forex, and how far you can be as a Forex, your Forex business can be as well. The third person I have to say, it would have to be Q Banks, because when I started to make profits, I invested in his course, and I
Mm-hmm.
learned a few stuff from it, but it's not really for the course per se. It's just really him as a person that I really learned from, and how he thrives on his journey. So
Uh-huh.
definitely I learned from that as well when it comes down to Forex, because I don't really look on the profits. It's not about the profits for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about the person's journey and really what the person has to offer, whether to my psychology or not even to my trading style per se, but really to my psychology, my risk management, or my money management skills. Because I do look up to a lot of other entrepreneurs, but they don't even do Forex.
Okay. So, like, who the other entrepreneurs that you look up to?
Well, the biggest one that I look up to, and this was the person who let me started to look on Forex as a investor, was Warren Buffett.
Mm.
So Warren Buffett is really one of the persons who I look up to. I also look up to a real estate person who's called Grant Cardone. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
look up to him as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And many others. I can't really get them off the top of my head right now, but I really look up to many others. And like when it comes down to Warren Buffett, I was reading a book that he recommended called The Intelligent Investor. So I
Yeah.
was reading that book, and while reading that book, I was saying, "Yo, what if I looked on Forex like how he looked on his whole investing per se? What if I treated Forex like a whole investment business per se and say, all right then, let me focus on getting consistent gains, because you investing in securities and stuff like that is
Mm-hmm.
you getting consistent gains. But when you look on it over a period of a year or so the stock start performing better, or this start performing better. That's you on your Forex journey over a period of time. Yes, you're getting 20% or 30%. No. But when you get comfortable at that and that becomes your comfort zone, you start stepping above your comfort zone. So you start moving from getting that 30%, 20%. You probably get that for 1 to 2 years, and then you start then you're all the way up to 50%, right? And you're just getting consistent over the years, and you're focusing on building that capital, because a lot of people look and say, "Yo, his company grew by thousands of percent," but he wasn't even spending the capital he was getting in return from all of those investments. He was just adding more capital to that. So that's really what I focus on a forex trader, really building my capital more and really getting consistent returns on that capital.
Okay. Well, I think Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is one of the persons I firstly looked up to when I was younger. because I didn't like school. I just liked money. I liked working. Right? So when I realized that Warren Buffett had like billions of dollars, I was like, I have to find out what this guy does, and how he got there, and also Bill Gates, because I'm a computer person, right? So those are two persons that I really look up to, in regards to like business and so forth. So like as it regards to motivation, right? I listen to persons like Les Brown and Gary V.
Yeah.
You must see Gary V. Do you listen to other like motivational speakers?
Yeah, I listen to Les Brown sometimes, and but I do listen to Eric Thomas a lot. I actually listen to him every time I'm taking a shower. So Eric Thomas was really the one that I listened to from over the years. I've been listening to Eric Thomas since I was 16 years old, and I
Oh.
listening to him probably every shower that I took from 16 to now. 90% of them I'm listening to Eric Thomas.
uh, that's pretty good. I've never actually listened to Eric Thomas much. I mostly focus on like the older motivational speakers like even Earl Nightingale
Yeah,
and those type of person. But based on what you said so far about forex, it seems as if it's not about like even understanding the technical aspect of it, but it seems like a psychological game.
yeah. It's a more psychological game and a more like money management and a more risk management type of game, but really big on your psychology because you can get good at the technicals, but without your psychology, you won't even focus on getting good at those technicals because you will be focusing on the wrong aspects, right?
Mm,
So because of that, now I give advice to just focus on building your psychology,
mm-hmm,
working on your technicals in the meantime, but your psychology is the most important things because that will control your money because that will control everything that you do, entering a trade, exiting a trade, managing a trade, all of that. So your psychology does control all of that because when it comes down to forex, you're only using your hand, right? You're only pressing buttons. So upstairs have to be right for you to really start focusing because coming from a person who used to do a 9 to 5, you're
mm-hmm,
not accustomed to seeing 1,000 US every day, right? You're not accustomed to seeing even 100 US on your phone on a computer screen, right?
mm-hmm.
So it really takes a different type of emotion just to get used to that, and so you have to really work on your psychology when it comes on to being a forex trader.
So, when it comes to psychology, right? As you mentioned, even seeing 100 US like a day on your computer, or even 1,000 US a day, like that's over 140,000 Jamaican, right? So you'd think that a lot of persons will get greedy when they start to see that money just fly up on their computer, like,
Yeah,
oh my God.
they start to get greedy and they start to risk more. So when they start to get greedy and they start to risk more, this is where they start losing, right? This is where people say, "Oh, you have to blow accounts or you have to blow accounts, this and that." Because when it comes on to me and what I really try to bring across for my student
Mm-hmm,
is to get them to focus on the right things from the beginning, right?
mm-hmm,
Forget about the money once and just focus on that consistent return. And what they
mm-hmm.
find is once they start focusing on that consistent return, the levels really change right there. Everything does change for them.
Mhm.
So that's what I tell everybody to focus on. Just focus on your consistency. That's the only thing that can do stuff for you and open doors. So when you focus on that
So
consistency,
the
yeah, go ahead.
the the consistency, right? That is you'd say that is one of the biggest things that can curve greed.
Yeah, that can curve greed because when you focus on consistency, most people that focus on consistency, they start being realistic. They're not focused on consistent 100% per
Mm-hmm.
day or 100% per week. You're focusing on small increments, 10 to 30%. So you focusing on this, you won't even have the time to get greedy because you're so focused on that and so focused on getting this thing right and just focusing on for example, a person who plays football, right?
Mm-hmm.
They focus on, say, a forward, right? They
Right.
focus on scoring goals, getting good at scoring goals, right? They don't have the time to add up how much goals they're scoring, right? Because they're so focused on scoring these goals and getting the ball in the back of the net.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what he has to focus on in Forex, just getting that consistent return, focus on that consistency. And to be honest, it's like you become numb to the money after that because you're so focused on learning. Sometimes you even forget, you look on your account and you say, oh, wow, I'm at $20,000, not even notice. You know what I'm
I,
saying?
that's a very deep statement, to become numb to the money, because based on my readings about money for the past couple of years, is that money isn't real,
Yeah.
right? So it's like a tool to be used when you have it. It's like when you don't have it, that's when things get tough because you don't have the tool to do what you want to do. Right. So that's a very deep statement, and I personally I'm trying to detach myself from money. So maybe by me trying to detach myself from money, who can tell if I won't be the next great trader?
Definitely. You will.
So like I have another quick question. As time is going, so
Mhm,
what like during this pandemic, right? A lot of people have lost their jobs.
mhm,
Unemployment rates are skyrocketing because I think that US hit like 14% unemployment rate the other day, and in Jamaica as well, being that it is such a tourism driven economy and a BPO industry. It's a BPO industry driven economy. What are some like monetary advice that you can give to people during this pandemic?
Alright, definitely. The pandemic is a lesson, and a pandemic is really telling you to that it's time to pull up your socks, right? A lot of
Mm-hmm.
things, a lot of opportunities that people get in life when it comes out to even forex trading. They find
Mm-hmm.
excuses and they say, "Oh, yo, this is a scam. I'm not gonna try this. How can you sit
Mm-hmm.
at home and make this and all of that stuff?" So I tell people that, yo, you have to pull up your socks,
Mm-hmm.
start thinking, investing in different type of things, investing in things that are recession proof, things that you
Mm-hmm.
can see returns in during any condition, right? Things that you have more control over because you don't have control over 9 to 5. Only
Mm-hmm.
your boss have control over the 9 to 5. So I really tell people to really take this as a lesson,
Okay.
right? This is a lesson for you that, yo, that job isn't security, what a lot of people think because you're laid off now without pay, right? So that job that everybody thought was security, it's not security, right? The job that gives you the security to get the loans and all of that, the paycheck that gives you the security, that's not security, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I tell people that, yo, it's time for you to guys to step up and find something and invest in something that you have more control over. Be your own boss. So
Mm-hmm.
when it comes down to this pandemic, that's my message to everybody. Just be your own boss,
Yeah,
right?
boss.
In, Instead of everybody complaining, watching the
Mm-hmm.
coronavirus numbers every single day. To be honest, from Jamaica hit 200 people. I don't know how much it is at right now because I'm not focused on that. I'm not focused on the numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I focus on capitalizing on this opportunity because some opportunity come once every 100 years, right? So I try to capitalize on this opportunity. I try to dig deeper in myself. I try to work on myself more so I can come out of this pandemic better than I went into it because it comes with a lot of opportunities for investors, such as prices for properties going down, stuff like that. So you definitely get good investment opportunities. And when you look into things like these pandemics, a lot of millionaires, a lot of billionaires step out of them. So
Mm-hmm.
because of that, I don't want to be left behind. So I focus on my craft even more. So when opportunities present itself, I already have the capital, I already have the knowledge and everything to take advantage of those. So that's really
Mm-hmm.
what I really focus on. So instead of complaining, sitting down watching the numbers every day, sitting down watching the Netflix, you're not getting paid to do that, right? The prime ministers are not paying you to watch the numbers every day. They're not paying you to watch Netflix. So instead of doing something for free, doing something that you can eventually in the long term see returns from. Because guess what? We don't know if outside is gonna keep again. So because the inside right now, you just have
Mm-hmm.
to the numbers aren't going down, right? Even if they're going down, even if they're going up, they're still going up either slowly or fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
So right now I'm just telling everybody to just better you just invest in yourself, right? You can never go wrong when you invest in yourself because anything that you invest in yourself, the only way you fail is if you quit. So I tell people just to invest in themselves during the pandemic, come
Mm-hmm.
out of the pandemic better than you went into it, right? Come out of the pandemic. You don't have anything to complain about. You don't have that job to say, oh, yo, I have this job and I have this 9 to 5 to do. I can't balance this and work. Many people just at home just eating food, watching Netflix and getting fat, right? Right now, right now, to be honest, people might say, oh, yo, you're probably at home just trading, getting fat. Actually, since the pandemic, I started to work out, right? So I started to work on everything that I used to find excuses about. So I started to work out, started to invest more in my mental health, my physical health, my spiritual health, and also my financial health.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to invest more in those stuff and really focus on just changing the levels and coming out of this pandemic, being a better person, being on a different level in life and everything. So that's really what I really focus on when it comes on to the whole coronavirus.
Oh, okay. That is pretty cool. Like you're taking a holistic approach towards just bettering yourself. You're not leaving one aspect of yourself behind, but moving, just like in synchrony between health and mental health and spiritual health. That is very admirable. That is very admirable.
Thank you.
Very, very admirable. And I hope that as you continue with your journey with Forex, I know that we'll be seeing big things from you in the upcoming future, because it sounds as if you have big goals. Sounds as if you
Yeah,
have big goals.
yeah,
And
definitely big goals. Some too big to talk, you know.
but trust me, it was very nice talking to you, Ashin, and I hope that we can do this again sometime soon. So folks, you heard it here on the Money Circle with Ashane4x, and I'm your host King Mike. You can follow Ashane4x on Instagram. That's his IG handle, Ashane, the number 4 and X, and also King Mike. I'm King_Mike 876. You can follow me as well. So we're going to wrap up this podcast, the first episode of the Money Circle. And until next time, you guys have a good time.